Gentlemen, what if I told you that the constant pressure in your lower belly, those endless nights getting up every 2 hours to use the bathroom, and that feeling of your energy fading day by day are not an inevitable part of aging? What if I revealed to you that there is one completely natural food that can begin reducing an inflamed prostate in just 24 hours? I'm not talking about another expensive pill with terrible side effects. I'm not referring to invasive procedures that leave you worse than you started. I'm talking about something you can find at any grocery store, something you've probably enjoyed for years without knowing it, has the power to completely transform your quality of life. My name is Dr. Valeria, and for over 25 years as a specialist in urology and men's health, I've sat across from thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, and watched them reclaim their freedom, their comfort, and that vitality they thought was lost forever. I've seen them achieve this not by adding more medications to their daily routine, but by making small, strategic changes that allow the body to heal naturally. Here's the part that still surprises many of my patients. These foods don't just work on your prostate, but benefit your heart, your mind, your circulation. They calm inflammation, restore healthy flow, and support that strength every man deserves to maintain regardless of age. Medical studies confirm it, but because no one can patent a tomato or a seed, you rarely hear about this in conventional doctors' offices. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful foods that can protect and restore your prostate, including the one I've seen work in less than a full day. Stay with me because how you consume them matters as much as which ones you choose. And before we begin, comment below what city or country you're watching from. Like this video if it's resonating with you, and subscribe to the Real Man with Valeria channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Your support helps us reach more men like you who need this information. Now, let's start with the first food on our list. It's red, juicy, and something you've probably enjoyed in salads without realizing. It contains one of the most powerful compounds for calming deep inflammation in the prostate and setting the stage for lasting relief. First food, tomato, the lycopene guardian. When I think of tomatoes, I remember mornings in my grandfather's garden, the fresh aroma of ripe tomatoes under the sun, and that intense flavor that only a tomato grown with love can give. They were simple pleasures, but behind that freshness lies a healing power that most men have never considered. I've had patients who thought tomatoes were just another ingredient for sauce or salad. But when I explained how they could directly impact their prostate health, they were surprised, some even skeptical, until they felt the difference in their own bodies. Tomatoes are loaded with a compound called lycopene, the pigment that gives them that vibrant red color. Lycopene is an extraordinary antioxidant with a special affinity for prostate tissue. When it enters your system, it helps calm the chronic inflammation that keeps the glands swollen and irritated. It works deep in the tissue, reducing oxidative stress and supporting healthy cell function. I especially remember Miguel, a 69-year-old retired engineer who came to my office completely exhausted. He'd been waking up 4 or 5 times every night for years, never getting a complete restorative sleep. He'd stopped going on his morning walks with friends because he was simply too tired. I suggested something he didn't expect. Start each day with 2 large tomatoes, sliced, with a drizzle of olive oil. "Tomatoes for my prostate, doctor?" he asked with an incredulous smile. But he trusted me enough to try it. Within 2 weeks, he called me excited. He was only getting up once or twice a night, and felt more rested than he had in years. The only change he'd made was that morning tomato routine. It may sound too simple to be true, but that's the beauty of natural foods. Sometimes the simplest steps have the deepest impact. The lycopene in tomatoes is more bioavailable when consumed with a small amount of healthy fat, like olive oil or avocado. This means your body can absorb and use more of this protective compound. But lycopene doesn't work alone. Tomatoes also contain folate, potassium, and vitamin C, each playing a role in calming inflammation and supporting overall cell health. Vitamin C strengthens blood vessels in the pelvic region, improving circulation to the prostate. Better circulation means better tissue function and less pressure in the area. Beyond the prostate, tomatoes offer benefits you'll notice in other areas of your life. They strengthen your cardiovascular system, helping regulate blood pressure and protecting arteries. They support skin health by protecting against free radical damage. They can even improve cognitive function, keeping your mind sharp and clear. To incorporate tomatoes into your daily life, start simple. Each morning, after a glass of warm water, Consume 2 medium tomatoes sliced with a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. If raw tomatoes are too acidic for you, you can cook them lightly, which actually increases lycopene availability. You can also add them to your breakfast eggs, prepare a fresh sauce to accompany your meals, or even drink natural tomato juice without added salt. These small daily doses add up, delivering a steady stream of anti-inflammatory power to your body. What I appreciate most about recommending tomatoes is how accessible they are. You don't need to search for them in specialty stores, and you don't need to take them in pill form. They're a whole, natural food that's been healing people for centuries. But here's the key: tomatoes aren't a magic bullet on their own. They're the beginning of a chain reaction. By reducing inflammation and improving circulation, they set the stage for other nutrients to work even more effectively. And that brings me to the second food on our list, one that's small, bright green, and often overlooked, but contains enzymes and a nutritional profile that can attack inflammation from a completely different angle. Second food, broccoli. The green anti-cancer warrior broccoli has always fascinated me. There's something about those little miniature green trees that seems to scream nutritional power. For years, I thought of broccoli, like most people do, a healthy vegetable that children reject but wise adults learn to appreciate. But in my decades of practice, I've come to see it as much more than a nutritious side dish. Broccoli is one of the most underestimated therapeutic foods for men's health, especially when it comes to protecting and restoring the prostate. I remember one patient in particular, a retired accountant named Robert, 73 years old. He came to my office frustrated and worried. The constant urgency to urinate, weak flow, and that pelvic pressure had turned simple pleasures like going to the movies with his wife into stressful experiences. "Doctor, I'm tired of planning my life around the nearest bathroom," he told me. When I suggested adding broccoli to his daily routine, he raised an eyebrow. He probably thought I'd lost my mind, but he trusted me enough to try it. I explained that broccoli wasn't just another vegetable, but a true natural medicine. Broccoli is packed with a compound called sulforaphane, which forms when we chew or cut raw broccoli. Sulforaphane is a potent anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer agent that has a unique ability to detoxify the body at the cellular level. In the prostate, it helps eliminate toxins that may be contributing to chronic inflammation. But what makes sulforaphane truly special is its ability to activate the body's natural detoxification enzymes. It's like giving your internal cleaning system an extra boost, allowing it to more effectively eliminate substances that may be irritating your prostate. Broccoli also contains indultricarbinol, a compound that helps balance male hormones. As men age, sometimes an imbalance occurs between testosterone and estrogen, which can contribute to prostate growth. Indultricarbinol helps metabolize these hormones more efficiently, maintaining a healthier balance. Research backs this up. Studies have shown that men who regularly consume cruciferous vegetables like broccoli have significantly lower rates of serious prostate problems. It's like having a protective shield working silently inside you. For Robert, the change was noticeable within 3 weeks. His urgency decreased, his sleep improved, and by the end of the month, he was back to enjoying movie outings without the constant anxiety of looking for the nearest bathroom. "Doctor, I didn't think something as simple as eating more vegetables could make such a difference," he told me with bright eyes. Broccoli offers benefits that extend far beyond the prostate. Its high vitamin C content strengthens the immune system, helping you fight infections more easily. Its fiber supports healthy digestion, and its antioxidants protect the brain from age-related deterioration. It's a food that takes care of your whole body, not just one part. Incorporating broccoli into your diet is easier than you think. The key is in the preparation. To maximize sulforaphane, cut raw broccoli and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This allows the active compound to form, then you can steam it lightly, saute it with garlic, or add it to your scrambled eggs. If raw broccoli is hard for you to digest, start with small amounts mixed in salads or green smoothies. You can even find broccoli extract supplements, although I always prefer real food when possible. What I like most about recommending broccoli is its versatility. You can prepare it 1,000 different ways, and each time you're investing in your long-term health. It's a small investment with enormous returns. But here's what's important. Broccoli, like tomatoes, isn't a magic bullet on its own. It's part of a broader strategy by providing cellular detoxification and hormonal balance. It prepares the body for other healing foods to work even more effectively. And that brings me to the third food on our list, one that many men have avoided for years, but contains special fats that can transform prostate health in ways they never imagined. Once you understand how it works, you'll never see it the same way again. Third food, walnuts. The healing fats walnuts have always reminded me of tiny brains in miniature, and maybe that's no coincidence. These little wrinkled treasures don't just nourish the mind, but have extraordinary power to heal and protect the prostate in ways most men have never considered. For years, many of my patients avoided walnuts for fear of fats or calories. We lived in an era where all fats were demonized, without distinguishing between those that harm us and those that heal us. But walnuts contain exactly the kind of fats your prostate needs to function optimally. I'll never forget Eduardo, a 71-year-old former military man who came to my office with a story that broke my heart. For months he'd been dealing with prostate inflammation, so severe that he'd stopped leaving home except for essentials. The constant urgency, pain, and fatigue had eroded his confidence and spirit. "Doctor, I feel like a shadow of the man I used to be," he told me with a broken voice. When I talked to him about walnuts, his first reaction was surprise. Walnuts? For my prostate. But Eduardo had served in the military. He knew how to follow proven protocols, and when I explained the science behind my recommendation, he decided to give it a chance. Walnuts are one of the best natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid ALA. These omega-3s are potent anti-inflammatory agents that work at the cellular level to calm chronic inflammation that keeps the prostate swollen and irritated. Unlike anti-inflammatory medications that can have side effects, omega-3 south from walnuts provide natural relief without risks. But walnuts don't stop there. They also contain zinc, a crucial mineral for prostate health. The prostate contains more zinc than any other organ in the male body, and when zinc levels are low, the gland can become more susceptible to inflammation and other problems. Walnuts provide bioavailable zinc that the body can easily absorb and use. Additionally, walnuts contain phytosterols, plant compounds that can help reduce cholesterol and improve circulation. Better circulation means better blood flow to the prostate, which is essential for optimal tissue function. Studies have shown that men who regularly consume walnuts have significantly lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. It's like having a team of microscopic workers constantly cleaning inflammation from your system. For Eduardo, the results were gradual but steady. In the first week, he noticed his sleep was slightly more restorative. In the second week, urgency began to decrease. By the month mark, he told me he felt like he'd recovered part of his old vitality. Walnuts were my turning point, he confessed to me later. Walnuts also offer benefits that go far beyond the prostate. They protect cardiovascular health by improving cholesterol levels and reducing arterial inflammation. They support brain function, keeping memory sharp and concentration clear. They can even help regulate blood sugar levels, which is especially important for older men. Incorporating walnuts into your daily routine is surprisingly simple. Start with a small handful, approximately 7 to 8 whole walnuts, each morning. You can eat them alone as a snack, add them to your oatmeal or yogurt, or even mix them into salads for crunchy, nutritious texture. If whole walnuts are difficult for you to chew, you can soak them in water overnight to soften them, or even grind them into a smooth paste that you can add to smoothies or spread on whole grain toast. The key is consistency. A handful of walnuts each day provides a steady flow of omega-3 zinc, and other protective nutrients that work cumulatively to reduce inflammation and support prostate health. What excites me most about walnuts is their accessibility. They don't need special preparation, they keep well, and they're a perfect snack to carry with you. They're a small investment in your health that can generate enormous dividends in terms of comfort and quality of life. But remember, walnuts, like all the foods we've discussed, work best as part of a comprehensive approach by providing anti-inflammatory fats and essential minerals. They prepare the ground for other nutrients to work even more effectively. And that brings me to the fourth food on our list, one that might surprise you with its power. It's small, often overlooked, but contains unique compounds that can help reduce the size of an inflamed prostate more directly than almost any other natural food. Comment if you've ever tried this miraculous little seed. Fourth food, pumpkin seeds. The little green giants pumpkin seeds have always seemed like little hidden treasures to me. Every October, when families carve pumpkins, thousands of these little green seeds end up in the trash, with no one knowing they're throwing away one of the most powerful foods for male prostate health. It's almost poetic. Nature hides its best medicines in the most unexpected places. I've seen men spend hundreds of dollars on expensive supplements when the solution they needed was literally in the seeds they threw away after Halloween. Throughout my years of practice, pumpkin seeds have become one of my most reliable natural remedies for men suffering from prostate problems. Let me tell you about Carlos, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came to my office in a state of quiet desperation. For months he'd been dealing with what he described as nightly torture. He was getting up every hour and a half to go to the bathroom, but when he got there, he could barely expel a few drops. Exhaustion had taken over his life, affecting his mood, his relationship with his wife, and his ability to enjoy the simple things he once loved. "Doctor, I've tried everything," he told me with tired eyes. "Medications, herbal teas, exercises, nothing seems to work." When I told him about pumpkin seeds, his expression changed from skepticism to curiosity. Seeds, really? Pumpkin seeds contain an extraordinary concentration of zinc, much higher than almost any other natural food. A quarter cup of pumpkin seeds provides approximately half the recommended daily intake of zinc. For the prostate, this is pure gold. Zinc is essential for maintaining normal prostate size and preventing excessive inflammation. But zinc doesn't work alone in these little green seeds. They also contain unique compounds called cucurbitacins, which have anti-inflammatory properties specific to prostate tissue. These compounds help reduce swelling and improve urinary flow naturally. Additionally, pumpkin seeds are rich in phytosterols, the same compounds found in some prostate medications, but in natural form and without side effects. These phytosterols help inhibit the conversion of testosterone to dihydrotestosterone DHT, the hormone that contributes to excessive prostate growth. European studies have shown that men who regularly consume pumpkin seeds experience significant improvements in urinary flow and reduction in nighttime symptoms. It's like having a natural pharmacy in each seed. For Carlos, the change was noticeable but gradual. In the first week, he noticed his sleep was slightly less interrupted. In the second week, he began sleeping for 3 to 4 hour stretches. By the month mark, he called me excited. "Doctor, last night I slept 6 consecutive hours. I can't remember the last time that happened." Pumpkin seeds also offer additional benefits that older men will appreciate. Their high magnesium content supports cardiovascular health and can help reduce blood pressure. Their healthy fats nourish the brain and support cognitive function. They can even help improve mood and energy levels. Incorporating pumpkin seeds into your routine is incredibly easy. You can buy them already shelled at most supermarkets, or you can prepare them yourself when you carve pumpkins. If you prepare them at home, simply wash them, dry them, and toast them lightly with a pinch of sea salt. The optimal dose is approximately a quarter cup of raw or lightly toasted seeds each day. You can eat them as a snack, add them to salads, mix them into your morning oatmeal, or even grind them and sprinkle them over soups or yogurt. If you prefer something more convenient, you can also find pumpkin seed oil, which is highly concentrated in active compounds. 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seed oil equals approximately a quarter cup of seeds. What I like most about pumpkin seeds is their safety profile. Unlike many supplements or medications, pumpkin seeds are gentle on the digestive system and rarely cause side effects. They're a food you can consume daily without worry. They're also incredibly versatile. You can carry them in your pocket as a snack, add them to virtually any meal, or even make a creamy paste by grinding them with a little olive oil. But remember, pumpkin seeds, like all the foods we've discussed, work best as part of a holistic approach. By providing concentrated zinc, phytosterols, and anti-inflammatory compounds, they create ideal conditions for other nutrients to work synergistically. And that brings me to the 5th and final food on our list, the one I've saved for last because it's the most powerful of all. It's red, juicy, and contains a compound so specific to prostate health that researchers have been studying it for decades. When you combine it with the right kind of healthy fat, its power multiplies, making it a true game changer. Let me introduce you to the food I consider the fastest natural ally for the prostate. 5th food, pomegranate, the red elixir of youth. There's something almost mystical about pomegranates. When you open one, those little red jewels shine like rubies. each one loaded with a power that our ancestors recognized, but modern medicine is just beginning to fully understand. For centuries, pomegranates have been symbols of fertility, vitality, and longevity. Now we know that ancient wisdom had solid scientific foundation. In my years of practice, I've seen pomegranates work faster than almost any other natural food to calm prostate inflammation, sometimes bringing relief in less than 48 hours. It's the food I reserve for my most desperate patients, those who come to my office feeling defeated by months or years of discomfort. Let me tell you about Francisco, a 66-year-old retired commercial pilot. He came to my office after years dealing with symptoms he described as a daily nightmare. Frequent urgency, weak flow, and constant anxiety about being away from a bathroom had ruined his retirement. He'd stopped traveling with his wife, avoided social gatherings, and had become a shadow of the adventurous man he used to be. "Doctor, I've lost my freedom," he told me with a trembling voice. "I feel like my life revolves around my prostate." When I suggested something he didn't expect, start each morning with a fresh pomegranate, combined with a handful of almonds, his expression was one of total disbelief. "A pomegranate? For this?" he asked. But Francisco had been a pilot. He understood the importance of following proven protocols, and when I explained the science behind my recommendation, he decided to trust the process. Pomegranates contain unique compounds called elagitannins, which convert in the body to ellagic acid and urolithins. These compounds have a special affinity for prostate tissue and work in multiple ways to reduce inflammation and protect against cellular damage. Elagitannins are extraordinarily potent antioxidants, even more effective than vitamin C or E in certain aspects. They neutralize free radicals that damage prostate cells and trigger inflammatory responses. It's like having a microscopic army constantly cleaning damage in your prostate. But what makes pomegranates truly special is their ability to inhibit 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme that converts testosterone to dihydrotestosterone DHT. Excess DHT is one of the main culprits in excessive prostate growth. By naturally modulating this enzyme, pomegranates help maintain the prostate at a healthy size. Research on pomegranates and prostate health is impressive. Studies have shown that men who consume pomegranates regularly experience significant slowing in prostate growth and improvements in inflammation markers. Some studies even suggest it may help prevent more serious complications. For Francisco, the results were surprisingly quick. Within 3 days, he called to tell me he'd slept through the night without getting up. "I thought it was a coincidence," he told me. But within a week, urgency had noticeably decreased, and by the month mark, he was back to planning trips with his wife. Pomegranates also offer extraordinary cardiovascular benefits. Their antioxidants protect arteries, improve circulation, and can help reduce blood pressure. For older men, this is especially valuable because cardiovascular health and prostate health are intimately connected. Incorporating pomegranates into your daily routine requires a bit more effort than other foods, but it's absolutely worth it. 1 medium pomegranate each morning, consumed with a small handful of nuts to improve absorption, can be transformative. If the process of de-seeding seems tedious, you can look for 100% pure pomegranate juice without added sugars. Make sure it's real juice, not a pomegranate-flavored drink. 1 cup of pure juice equals approximately 1 whole pomegranate. You can also find pre-prepared seeds at some supermarkets, although they'll be more expensive. High-quality pomegranate concentrates are another option, especially during months when fresh pomegranates aren't available. The key is consistency and the right combination. Consume your pomegranate or pomegranate juice, along with a source of healthy fat like almonds, walnuts, or a teaspoon of olive oil. This maximizes absorption of beneficial compounds. What excites me most about recommending pomegranates is how quickly many men notice changes. While other foods work gradually building benefits over time, pomegranates often provide noticeable relief in days or weeks. It's important to understand that pomegranates, like all the foods we've discussed, work best as part of a comprehensive approach. But if I had to choose just one food for a man suffering from severe prostate inflammation, it would be pomegranates. Now that you know these 5 powerful foods, tomatoes, broccoli, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and pomegranates, you're ready to see how they work together. How small daily choices can create a foundation for lasting comfort, strength, and vitality. Gentlemen, we've walked together through 5 of nature's most powerful allies for your prostate, tomatoes to kickstart circulation and fight inflammation. broccoli to detoxify and balance hormones, walnuts to provide healing fats and zinc, pumpkin seeds to deliver concentrated nutrients specific to the prostate, and pomegranates to offer fast, targeted relief with unique antioxidants. These aren't exotic, hard-to-find remedies. They're simple, familiar foods waiting at your local grocery store to change how you feel. Throughout my decades of practice, I've seen men who believed their best days were behind them, men worn down by fatigue, nightly interruptions, and the quiet frustration of living around an inflamed prostate, completely turned their situation around. And more often than you might imagine, the turning point came from small, consistent changes, not dramatic medical interventions. A tomato in the morning, a handful of pumpkin seeds at lunch, a glass of pomegranate juice before bed. Day after day, the body responded. Inflammation calmed, energy returned, and confidence, slowly but surely, came back. I share this with you not as theory, but as something I've witnessed in real lives over and over again. Your body isn't broken, and it hasn't given up on you. Those symptoms you've been living with aren't a life sentence. They're signals asking for the right kind of support. Here, at the Real Man with Valeria channel, I've already helped thousands of men rediscover their strength and vitality. Every transformation story begins with a simple decision, choosing to give the body what it's been needing all along. So here's my challenge to you. Start tomorrow. Choose one of these foods, make it part of your morning, and commit to it for a week. Notice the changes. Let them build. Your body will begin to respond, and when it does, add the second food, then the third. Don't try to change everything at once. Sustainable transformation comes from small, consistent steps, not dramatic changes that are impossible to maintain. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. If this video has given you hope or valuable information, share it with another man who might need it. Give it a like to help us reach more gentlemen like you. Subscribe to the Real Man with Valeria channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any of our videos about men's health and vitality. Your strongest chapter is waiting. And it can begin with the simplest decision you'll make today. The decision to give your body what it's been needing all along. The power is in your hands, and nature has already provided the tools. You just need to use them. Change doesn't always begin at the pharmacy. Sometimes it begins in your kitchen, with a knife slicing a ripe tomato or opening a fresh pomegranate. It's proof that nature often provides what we need if we know where to look and how to use it. Your prostate, your energy, your confidence, everything can improve. The question isn't whether you can feel better, but when you're going to start. Your time is now. Your stronger, more comfortable life begins with your next meal. Thank you for trusting me to share this information with you. Until the next video, take care of yourselves and remember, it's never too late to feel like the strong, vital man you're meant to be.